we've all been in that situation before, but why is it that only me, whenever I try to speculate and wear it back, it doesn't fit? I just don't know why. Okay, so let's go. The next, please pay attention to this. The next, it says, always check for expiry date. Don't say, oh, this is a very serious thing that a lot of you are not checking. A lot of you. Me, I will check. Maybe like that in 2020. Manufactured. Expiry 2025. So it's good for usage. So please check the expiry date. It's very, very important. The reason I'm telling you this is because, one, because it may have been expired, the friction or the lubricant on it may have been worn out, right? So it may prevent all the cuts. Instead of getting all the cuts and other infections, you don't use it. The second most important thing is that because it may have been expired, you may end up getting bruises or sores on your manhood, right? So it's very, the third one, it says, use only water-based lubricants with condoms, petroleum jelly, and other hand body lotion contain oils that can break down the latex and cause breakage instead of using proper lube. Is that not what you've been doing? Yeah. Who said no? Please, I'm only advising. As I said, I cannot tell you to abstain because you won't. I know you won't. So the best thing I need to do as a big brother is to advise. Alright? Now, the fourth one says, seek medical advice when a condom breaks or leaks during sex within 72 hours. Boys.
Yeah, if you look at that.
Like it here. And you know, when it gets to that stage, when it gets to that stage, so you call your friend, Charlie, like yesterday, like you are not even considering pregnancy. What you are thinking about is HIV. But there are very much more important and even pertinent and dangerous diseases aside HIV. Look, the most the deadly infectious disease, sexually transmitted infectious disease is herpes. Check. It's all over. And there's no cure for herpes. I don't know if you found a cure, but to me, there's no cure. So if you have herpes, imagine, it may not readily show. But now that you found yourself a beautiful cure, what's a misculture? And this is the time for you to bow to misculture. Knowing that you found yourself a beauty queen, then herpes sets in. Now, imagine if you have a baby, and you're looking at the baby and how infected he or she is, and the regret, especially when you cast your mind. Yeah. Interestingly, once you put it here, I will use it. I thought you were going to clap for me for using condom. Condoms are good. Protect yourselves. Condoms are good. So let's continue. So this one. Right, this one is even written in French. So if you pretend you can't read, you still have it. Okay, so let's continue. Now, with the infections, how many of us have had gonorrhea before? Don't be shy. Okay, sorry. So we are in school. Anything in that? We've all had or experienced gonorrhea before. Some way, somehow. Gonorrhea. You see that white substance that you go to urinate and it can't come out. Every time. Infections. I'm very sure the ladies have seen it over and over. For me, even not in Ghana here, I remember I used to work at a company, a bank, back in America, and each time I visited the washroom, I had an infection. Seriously. Because, well, you know these people and how they move from left to right. And for me, it took me just one reason to stop visiting the lavatory each time I went to work. So, my girlfriend at the time would take me to a strip club. I'm being very honest. Look, I'm a grown man. So, this girlfriend of mine would take me to a strip club because, well, I didn't like her that much. But the reason she was taking me to strip clubs was because when we go there, you go and see women, and what happens in a strip club is that, I don't know how it happens here now, because with what I'm saying, it's been over 10 years. So each time we went to the strip club, one of the ladies would come whisper in my ear, "Hello, are you Andy?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Please come with me." "Come with you where?" "Yes, come with me. Just come with me." Benjamin Akrenti. Then I will follow. Right? I'll follow. So there's a private room. We'll go there, she'll take me there, and then she'll sit me in a chair, and there is music playing. There is music. Music is playing. Right? Then she'll come sit on my lap. Something they call lap dance. So she'll come and sit on top of my lap, and she'll perform all the rituals. No. It doesn't go to that extent. The reason is that the reason it doesn't go there, I remember at one time it became too sensual that I nearly zipped my pants down. Because Chalena didn't come in. So no, listen, we don't have time. I don't have enough time. So when I tried, she said, "Don't." I'm like, "Don't? Why?" Yeah, at this point, says no. But she was a good girl. She said, "Don't look. There are cameras watching." Because in there, they have cameras just in case you want to rape any of them. Then the guards will walk in and usher you out. Or they give you, or hand you over to the police. So she'll perform all the rites, and she'll leave you halfway and say, "My friend, get out." So my girlfriend will take me home, and then that is when I become so weak, and then she gets me, and the rest is history. All right. That said, if you happen to be in any of these situations, do not be fooled. It's a very beautiful situation. Now, back to the company issue. The reason I told you that story about the strip club. So I went to work the next day, feeling all goody, and I was bragging, "Yo, yesterday I went to the strip club." And this American came to me and said, "Strip club, what did you see?" I'm like, "Yo, I saw beautiful girls. And yo, they wore these bikinis, they wore these sexy pants." And they all started laughing at me. And I asked him, "Why?" He said, "Yo, tonight, I'm taking you to a club in Harlem, in New York." I said, "Okay." And I'm like, "What's the difference?" He says, "That place is topless. They don't wear anything." Yeah. So, guys, time loading. So, that night, I went home, took my shower. I called him, "I'm ready." He came over, and he drove me straight to the club at Harlem. Now, when we got in, immediately we entered the club, whole place flanked beautiful ladies, beautiful girls. Charlie, beautiful. Beautiful. If I say beautiful, I mean, yo, girls who see and you ask yourself, am I need to be family? Yeah, beautiful. And in the club, people are having sex. Yes. And this friend of mine, as we entered, grabbed one of the girls, grabbed another, so two, and he said, "Yo, Andy, follow me." Like, you're right there, you follow my man. And this person, listen. And this guy went there and had sex with a lady. I remember very well, I was watching. Although when we entered, once you enter, there are condoms, packs of condoms. And they have dollars, because it's a strip club, and because it's a strip club, they have single, we call it single, right? Those of you who've lived in America. And $1, each of them are singles. Right? So with the singles, we use the singles to sprinkle it on the ladies, right? So let's say if I have $100, I'm giving $1, so 100, right? So it becomes plenty. Okay, good. And then the guy, I watched him, and he went in there, had sex with the lady without a condom. Here is someone I work with, right? In a company, in a bank, right? And this guy, almost every quarter, he goes to the washroom. Now, when I go there, I get reactions. Then I started asking myself, could it be? He's the one I know. What about the others I don't know? I was lucky to have a girlfriend at the time. Supposing I did not have one, and I had gone in there to have fun, and I'd gone in there to have sex too, I may have also been infected. I beg you, sex is nice, sex is fun, but let's do it wisely. For me, I believe I'm a nice guy. I believe. But if you are my girlfriend and you find problems with me and you start asking me questions, does it mean you don't want me to live properly? Or does it mean that you suspect me that if not for you, look, the best thing is count. So, how many do we have? 1 and 2. Okay. And mine. 3. So, 9. I promise. I am going to keep it for those of you who like me and want to get closer to me. I'm talking about the guys. When you get closer to me and you find out that I've used it, it could be that I've come to a program like this and have dashed someone. Not that I've used. And even if I've used, then it means I'm a good man. If you don't have a boyfriend and you need one, I'm here. But who will use for me? Don't say ah. So what I'm telling you, okay, well that's a joke. But let's get serious. So what I'm telling you is that in case you want to do it, there are condoms around. Is that the beautiful lady I met at GH Media some time ago, I may see some other time at a clinic coming for, how do they call it, antiretroviral. I am a typical example. I've seen a sister of mine. Now let me tell you this before I end it. This is a very, very serious issue. This sister of mine, beautiful. She got married. Before she got married, stayed faithful. I'm telling you this, faithful. I never saw her with any man. Abna was, look, if not the most faithful individual apart from my mother.
What's that?
That's, I mean, Abna was so faithful. Then she got married to this guy who went at Temahaba. He claims he was a clearing agent. By this time I saw you, I mean, it will be seven, will be Oscar, you can see. Even if you knew me this guy, if I don't have money, I dress well. So if you see me in suit, it means I don't have money. The day you see me in some slippers and some shorts and some Yawa t-shirts, then it means that day will be okay. Right. So back to the story. The guy at one time called me and said, my sister had told him that I'm looking for a car. I want to buy a car. And that, oh, he's got a car. So I drove to Turkey to go see the car, only to realize that it was a scam. Okay. Long story short, my brother-in-law passed out. Well, he died, right? He passed on. And this sister of mine fell sick. At a point, she couldn't even talk properly, as if she had stroke. So I would drive all the way to Tema General Hospital to go see her almost every day. And even I didn't like where the ward she was in. So I asked them to put her in a special ward. Don't worry, I'll pay for it. Don't worry, I like her so much. I'll handle it. Then they started running tests, only to find out that she had AIDS. How did she get AIDS? She was married to a guy who was busily flirting with the girls at the port. Not the workers, but night workers. That was how bad it was. If you sit there and say, oh, there are lots of circumstances when it comes to marriage and relationships. Oh, I'm not ready. Oh, you this. Unnecessary fights. Today, this, I'm fasting. The heck? So, one thing led to the other. And this beautiful sister, this faithful sister, died. And I remember very well, because I was going there every time, all of them in the hospital knew that she was my biological sister. So when she died, there was a guy at the hospital who had approached me that he wanted promotion on radio. He was a musician. So the guy had my number, and the guy called me that, oh, it looks like your sister's birthday is not very good tonight. Can you come over? I'm like, oh. And that night, I was with Sakwadi and Akabo, I remember very well. And I said, I want a function. So I'll come there tomorrow morning. The next day on my way to work, I had a call that she had died. I said, let her rest. I want to see her before she's taken to the morgue. Unfortunately, I got there late. Guess what? 2 days later, her family came to take her to her village, and I drove and followed them to the village. When we got to the mortuary, that was the first time I'd entered the mortuary. And I got there and I saw her laid on a table with her beautiful breasts showing. And she wore only pants. And I was sad. I cried because if she had stayed faithful and not relied on this guy, she would have lived a better life. Please, I'm begging you. As I said, sex there is good, but do it wisely. This is my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dosty. Oh, my boyfriend.